Hello. Is that now working? Hopefully that will work. Let me check on my own stream. Oh good, that's working. Excellent. Right then. I guess I can go onto Discord and talk to Spartacus, I guess. I bet everyone in the lobby's now getting pissed off at me because I'm not starting. Let's see, where will Spartacus be? If I go into live stream 2 and I say to Spartacus, come to live stream 2. How are we all? How was our days? Good, I hope. I'm saying this to the one person who's watching live now, which is actually me. So, hello. Hiya. Can you just can you check on the stream if you can hear your voice and also my voice?
Yeah, let me 1 second.
Who's watching live now, which is actually me.
Before I need to find
So. I don't think you're very loud though.
Oh, wait a sec.
Yeah.
I can easy fix.
But no, I mean like in terms of on my end, it will be the problem. I don't think you're very loud though. Yeah. I'm not really sure how to fix it either. Let me just add in an audio.
I did the fix on Discord. It should be much better now.
Okay. Double check what it sounds like on the stream now.
Yeah, wait a sec. Okay, very quiet.
Try it now. See if that's changed. Because I've changed something on here. Because you're coming through to me absolutely fine.
Yeah. Okay. Now should be better, even in the stream. Check. Okay, now it's fine.
Okay. Are you sure? Let me double check as well.
Fella? I think fella crashed.
No, I'm good. Just give me 1 second. I'm just setting it back. I'm just setting it up. It should work after this. And then I just need to go on game capture like that. Okay. Okay. Hopefully, that should work if I go onto this one.
Fella?
Nice.
Okay, let me just double check before we start.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all good now.
Yeah, definitely.
Right then, let's go.
Checking. That's it. Go. Okay.
You could share the stream in a couple places as well because we've only got a couple people watching.
Okay. I think yes, I can.
Because it was just unannounced, wasn't it?
Yeah. I will really fast do it.
Yeah. I can talk about what's going on as well.
Yeah.
So Elendil's gone dwarves. I'm pretty sure he's going to go Erid Lewin, even though I think that they're OP.
Yeah.
And
I
Luke is
think the
Gondor.
same.
A lot of people
Uh-huh.
have been picking Gondor. Let's see what he goes. Yep, he's got Erid Lewin.
Ardluin for Elendil? Okay.
Yeah. So Luke's gone for a barrack start, and Elendil is also going for a barrack start. It's like Goodfella playing against Goodfella here.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. But
So-
in this map, I mean, you can try an eco start. It's pretty big
Yeah.
map.
So he's got Pippin as well. Let's have a look at the resources. He's on 350. Oh my god, that is loud. I think Bilbo's just
Yep.
come out.
Not even a burglar.
Yeah, definitely.
Where's the voice? Let me turn that voice down. Okay, so right, we've got a farm over here. I actually feel like this new system of having 300 resources per farm is like a massive deal. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty strange because it's changed totally your start and actually.
Exactly. Yeah, it's because it's like an extra 50% price. It's not a small increase. It's only 100 extra, but then the original cost was only 200. So percentage-wise, it's quite a big increase.
Yeah, it's a big increase, and you know, it's a big effect even in the game because even now,
Yeah.
if you lose a farm in the early game, it's a big deal. And
Yeah.
it's not like before. And now I think the eco start is a little bit more available in this scenario because
Yeah, I
I mean,
agree.
there is not a big difference between. Yeah.
Because
But,
the safety
you know,
that
in
you
terms-
get, the safety that you get
Yeah.
for that extra 100, the safety of
Yeah,
that farm
yeah.
on the inside is so much better.
Oh, and fella, the chat is writing that you are a little bit robo in the voice,
Oh,
like a robot, a robo. I don't know what does it mean.
okay. Let me double check that, and I will try and fix that.
Yeah. Yeah, Hamo, we are reading the chat at this time. Doing. We'll fix the audio. Is my audio good? Chat. Spartacus OP audio is good. Usually my audio has a lot of trouble. Okay, I will say something about the game now because my audio is good. So I will say something about the game really, really fast, so we can see that like well, fella is okay. The black stream on the stream. So basically, what we are seeing see in the game at the moment, even if you cannot see, is like fighting for back
I
control.
hope that is better. Just
Okay.
let me know, chat, if that's any better.
Okay, basically they told that my sound is perfect at the moment.
Good.
At least 50% of the stream is good. At least that. Yeah. So I was saying that like Luke is a little bit aggressive with the start. He's trying to counter the harassment of Elendi everywhere. He's trying to
it's
deny
still not
creep.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you didn't fix it.
Yeah, that's because I'm not saying anything. I'm just trying to sort out my audio, but I don't think it's working still, or it's not working very well at least. We've got cavalry here. Oh, is it good now? Is it good, Hammond? Oh, good. That's better then. We've got a quite early cavalry then over here with Gondor. Elendil is getting pikes out. He has just scouted it, and he's also going up on the wall over here to try and avoid the cav. But it's going to come out any second, and this unit's going to die. But it's well worth it to scout because knows that it's coming now. Joe's still here. Yeah, I think it is. I feel I played this matchup against Elendil the other day, and you were there watching it, and I feel like you can do like archers and cavalry, and target the pikes, so that could help. But even with that, I still lost because Ered Luin is just so strong because they're so fast. I think Archaon preferred my robot self.
Think is the best option for Gondor at the moment, since you cannot really win the infantry battle. So the thing that you need to like push is cavalry. But when the elite units, Eraduins are out, the unburned, well, then is a problem because they are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still a few issues with the audio. I just have to. I think I'll just have to learn how to stream. I think that's my main issue here.
You didn't stream for a long time, but they can hear me. I was just not saying nothing before.
And is my voice okay as well, guys, or have I gone back to a robot?
No, you're not. I mean, to my ears, you're not so robo at the moment. But I think they.
Yeah, it's just when it comes through on the stream that's the issue.
Yeah, that's the point. Oh, what's that? Basically, the map is splitting in two sides. I like that Elendil is gripping the troll, and also he's putting a mine near the trolls. So if Luke try to contest that, he can quickly reinforce that and try to grab the money. I really like that move.
I'm still human. Oh my god, we've done it.
Okay, nice. We did it. And what do you think about battle wagons? The rework. I mean, I think we will not see a single battle wagon in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't think they're that good anymore. But also Ered Luin doesn't really need them. I feel like if you're playing Erebor, you might need them because you need something that goes fast. Whereas Erebor is just like everything goes fast.
Yeah, that's true. With doing everything go fast. But what I fear a little bit is like Liu Kiko shouldn't be so great at the moment.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he's macroing pretty well since he is going up to 700 command points. And I mean, he will not get supply blockers soon, at least. And
he's getting his next pantry out as well. Whereas Elendil is still on 500, and his first pantry is just coming in. But Luke's only a full pantry ahead in terms of the macro. Let's have a quick look at the map control then. So we got farms here. This one's shortly going to die. Who's got the advantage in map control?
Yeah.
Is it Gondor? I think it's just about Gondor.
Yeah, Gondor. Gondor is ahead in map controls, and also because cavalry is on the map. So basically now Elendil has a little bit.
However, Elendil's got 3 inside buildings. A 4th is coming up, which are way more secure.
Yeah,
because he's going to be able to harass with these speedy units. There's going to be no reason why not.
And also with dwarves, you can deal with cav just putting like a couple of pikes inside your mines.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Erebor is strong enough, and they are slow AF. So so Ered Luin is like a Gondor that's got mines.
Yeah, and
is a little bit faster.
Yeah, it's a little bit faster, but the thing that I don't like a lot with Gondor, like this clump of sword in the. I mean, if he split a little bit, he could like put
who's
a little
this?
bit
Gondor?
Yeah, the Gondor clump. You see?
Yeah.
There is a big clump of Gondor in the middle of the map, like trying to kill him one single farm.
Yeah, he needs to split and maybe send one over here, send one over here on this part and harass and split.
Exactly.
Because what is there to worry about splitting in this? It's not like he's got like he's got battle wagons, that's when you wouldn't want to split.
Yeah, but in this scenario, you can easily split everywhere.
So it looks like Luke and Elendil are going for quite different strategies, because Luke is aiming mostly for the army and some outside eco, whereas Elendil is going for a lot more inside eco and secure eco, but he's not going for his pantry upgrades. He is now going for a siege works, so potentially we'll see some battle wagons coming out.
Definitely, the battle wagon will come out at this point, but I think they're pretty good with the arrows, because if you get battle wagon with the arrows, you know, you can easily target down pikes and even shoot down cavalry, if I remember correctly. And
Yeah,
you can
they
use
can,
pikes
and the barrel can be a pretty good counter to cavalry as well.
until Gondor reaches the central spell, by the way, because with the central spell you have extra armor.
Yeah, and
after
that's exactly what Luke's aiming for here. This is what I do as well. Horn of Gondor, then straight into the central spell, because it's so strong. It gives you 20% armor and damage.
Yeah, information, which is really good. Yeah, you see what
First
I mean?
battle wagon coming out.
The pikes. Watch the pikes. They are dealing with the cavalry so well, and basically now you cut the potential of the cavalry of harassment and map control just with one battalion of pikes inside the mine.
Yeah.
It's really strong, really strong.
And then the thing is, here in this situation, if this is Erebor, this pike battalion is dead now, because it's too far away from the mine. But with Ered Luin, look, it can just run back, because it's the same speed as the Gondor.
That's the Gondor soldier.
Then he can go back in. Yeah. With Erebor, you can't go too far away from your mine, otherwise you're just dead.
Yeah.
So on the other side,
and the first battle wagon is out.
Yeah. Other side of the map, there's a little skirmish going on. We've got about 4 units of swords versus 2 swords and 2 pikes. So Gondor would win that, especially in their formation. So Elendil's just running away. But look at this, he can do a speed boost. 50% faster! I did not know that. 50% faster, that is crazy. When their base speed is not that slow anyways. Is it the same base speed as dwarves? Here's the battle wagon. He needs to target it with his... Ooh, look at that oil. He needs to target it with his cavalry, but then he's got pikes there protecting it. So this guy is going to be able to survive quite easily. And he's got some pikes back here that's harassing a farm. He probably needs to bring them up, otherwise he's going to start to lose a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And I like
cavalry going into pikes. He's losing his cavalry battalion here. Bit of micromanagement. 2 units left in that battalion, and now the battle wagon is coming in. Ooh, that cavalry battalion is going to go, unless he can keep.
Maybe he will survive.
No, it's dead.
No, he's dead. Definitely. But I like the choice of Elendil. So he will force Luke to produce pikes as well. Because otherwise, basically, if you don't have cavalry on the battlefield, your opponent is free to spam all his swords, and you have pikes and swords, so you're in a worse position by far. But now, Luke need to spam pikes too, and this battle wagon deals so great. I think he did so. Was a surprise. Was a little bit of shock for Luke at the moment.
Yeah. Here he's losing pikes, I think, which is not good. Yeah. He should be. Oh, actually, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. He's just about pushed him back. The battle wagon's coming in behind. Good placement of the pikes.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good placement of the pikes.
But then misplacement now, and Elendil takes advantage of it just about. That was very nice micromanagement of the cavalry there from Elendil.
Yeah, definitely.
On the other side, we've gone for the central power now. So you can see this buff around the units when they're in their alternative formation. Elendil getting wagon is a very smart play. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Cavalry is just so important in Nidane. Like you said, Spartacus. Yeah. Even without doing all the kills that it always manages to do, and being able to harass all the farms, just making your enemy get pikes and spend more. Because remember, they're more expensive as well than normal sword units, and normal sword units beat them. It's just so important to get cavalry.
Definitely. Watch a little bit of mind game of Lantern. He definitely he deleted the force, so basically he will hope that Luke doesn't scout it and try to pumping out pikes non-stop. Yeah. And he will go for, I think, full infantry at this point. Yeah.
And also the battle wagons do get less effective towards the late game.
Definitely.
Whereas cavalry can scale up into the late game.
So now it's all about how he can micro the battle wagon.
Although I do think that battle wagons can do well in the late game if you've got like 5 or 6 of them with those oil barrel throwers and archers and things like that. But 1 or 2 of them, they don't do as well.
Definitely. I think Luke was a little bit too much
Barrel
concern
throw?
in this
You missed.
scenario. What?
Just missed the barrel throw
No.
from like on top of a mountain.
Oh yeah, I see that. I saw that. He was. Yeah.
So I think
definitely.
Elendil was actually ahead on points. Is he on spell points? Is he here? So that's 1. That's 2. I think 3 and 7 in total. Whereas, oh no, they're quite
Definitely-
close.
definitely
So
ahead.
Luke's just about got his 7th one now.
Mm.
So he's slightly
But I
ahead.
think
He's on 8
Elendil will
now.
go for Gandalf. We'll go for Gandalf, I think, at this scenario.
Yeah,
Why not?
Gandalf is so strong now because he does a stun too. He's
Gandalf
like
is
getting
definitely
out
strong.
a light tank in Company of Heroes 2. It forces a response, which is often not optimal against the rest of the army. Exactly, it's that rock paper scissors thing where you make them
Yeah.
get something, and then you can just spam out the counter to it again, and then it's useless.
Yeah.
And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you've got a tiger tank, and it's like, oh god. So you can even switch back again, and then like go super into Cav.
Wow. But I feel like Luke need that.
Yeah, and the mobility. Yeah, cavalry battles are so important because the battle wagons are still useful. It's not that they're completely not useful. Like here, look, whenever there are some swords that are just by themselves, or even for harassment. So 2 battalions of cavalry. Are the cavalry faster than the battle wagons?
Yeah.
I think they
Definitely.
are. So he should probably lose these 2 here, I would assume. In the meantime,
If
I'm just
the
going to stay
fight
focused on this
is
because in the
on.
meantime, as you can see on the minimap, there's not much fighting going on. So there's 1 battle wagon down, and the second one should die as well now.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas if
He will die.
he had like 4 or 5, he would win this battle here because he could just drop some oil on them and just completely wreck the cavalry. But that's the end of his cavalry now. He's got no more cavalry, Elendil, on the field. Whereas Luke is still producing more. The inside eco though, Luke's got most of his base is not filled. Elendil's is completely filled. Let's have a look at
But he's
the
going for
map.
level 2. Elendil is going for level 2, Eco.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I suppose, because he was
And Gandalf.
he has had banked like 1,200, and after
Yeah.
that the money disappears.
Oh,
So
did
I
it?
guess he's going for level 2.
He's on 1,400 now. So he's
He's
got
one-
loads of
but-
money.
but
Here's
probably-
Gandalf.
Yeah.
And the
No,
stun.
both will
What
come.
Elendil was saying about this as well. It's saying that this is not what he wanted from this. He didn't want the stun. It's too powerful. How are you supposed to... Unless you keep your Horn of Gondor just for when Gandalf comes out. Because you just
Yeah.
can't run away from it. Before you could run away. You can't split. Ooh, that was a nice hit.
Yeah,
They're all
that was
alive,
a
though.
really nice hit.
They're still alive. If he pulls back...
Wow.
If he gets a well and pulls back, you could keep hold of those 2
Yeah,
battalions.
Now he's forced.
But,
And
but it
hell
still
is
stopped him from fighting, and he's lost quite a lot from that. So 600
Definitely.
command points, 640. So Elendil is now also ahead on command points. So he's got a solid inside base. If he has gone for his second eco, then his...
I can't understand why Elendil is
Here's-
banking
here's
so
the well.
much. I can't understand. Maybe a heroes, because he's banking nearly 2k at the moment. Elendil.
I think he's just not a very good Dane player, if I'm being honest with
Ah.
you. That's why.
I really don't know, but I mean, he's banking so much. The macro is not smooth that should be. And I know now Bilbo boost, and you see 2k and 50, and he's huge. Use bank. Maybe Thorin will come or something like this. I don't know. It's not
Oh,
usual
he's gone
to
for it.
put
He
this
does go.
bank.
He does like to go for heroes. He's gone for Bofa. He has a knockback,
Bofa.
doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
go
think
for it.
he is saving some money to get the eco upgrades as quick as he can. I assume. Luke's not got any archers here. I think that is quite a big drawback. I mean, obviously, it's expensive to get them, but I think that's going to be a big deal not to have any archers, because
Yeah.
cavalry gets so much stronger when you have archers too.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which was the tactic that I tried to use against him, and it did work for quite a long time. But eventually, he just leveled up his heroes that he got, and the speed boost of those elite Ered Lewin units just demolished me. Oh, we got a bit of a freeze. Is this a crash? No. Well, they're both in. I can't hear Spartacus. Spartacus? Oh, I've been kicked. Nice. Nice. It looks like Elendil was winning. So I guess GG? Question mark? I can't hear Spartacus. I can see the chat. Can we get some Fs in the chat? Let's have a look at the stats so far. If this screen comes up, does this mean that the game is actually over? Let's have a look. Who's in here? Khan's in here. He's been kicked out. Mogat's in here. We got an F in the chat. Oh, we got 2 Fs in the chat. We got 3. We got 5. Oh dear. They're still playing. So, in the meantime, how was everyone's day? Have you had a good time? I can show you how to creep if you want. In a skirmish. Other than that, I haven't really got any suggestions. How's coronavirus for everyone? I've got some hand gel here. That's 60% alcohol, and it kills 99.9% of bacteria. Unfortunately, corona is a virus, so it's not really going to do anything. They're probably still playing. It just started. Yeah. Big oof. Big oof. Sparta crashed. I don't know who crashed, really. Let me have a look back here. I'll have a look at my Game Ranger room. Khan is out of it. Sparta crashed. I didn't know. Yeah, it's going crazy in Italy. The first person in the UK has just died from it. So, bummer. But I think it's only really affecting older people. And people who have already got, like, you know, illnesses. So I think most of us will probably be okay. How has 4.5 changed the meta? I think the new 300 resource for farms is actually quite a big deal. There are times in the games now where, and I never used to do this, but there are times in the games now where I will destroy a farm and I will just leave it. I won't buy it because I'm like, I haven't got 300. I don't want to sit here and wait till I get to 300 resources. And even when I do buy it, it's too much of a risk to invest that much in it. I know it doesn't sound a lot, the extra 100, but that's a 50% increase. So percentage-wise, it's quite a big deal. How else has it changed the meta? Lorien it plays very differently now. They're definitely not as strong as they used to be. The new spell books have made a big deal, a big change. I don't think we really I don't think we played enough games yet to see how much of a difference the spell books will make. In terms of comebacks, okay, so you all knew that I was going to start talking about this eventually. In terms of comebacks, I actually think that there is more comebacks now in 4.5 due to inflation. I do think that there are more comebacks. I think there's more opportunities for comebacks. I think if both players play perfectly, the winning player will always win and the losing player will always lose. But I think there's more opportunities for comebacks because of inflation. Whereas before, you could just play absolutely trash if you were winning, and you would still win anyway because you had so much money coming in that there was no stopping you. You would just completely snowball out of control. I personally don't think, though, that sieges are currently working as a siege or an attack on a base is in like medieval warfare, or at least as an attack on a fortified position is in the Lord of the Rings universe, at least within the Lord of the Rings universe that's on film. If that makes sense. Basically, I don't think that when you play a 1v1, you ever get a scenario that's like Minas Tirith or Helm's Deep, where there's people inside the base, they're defending against people attacking from outside, and that's what the siege is. That, in my opinion, that does not happen in multiplayer. And I think I know why. And I might make a video on why I think it is. But it does do it in like horde maps. So horde maps are absolutely do work in terms of like what a siege would be, or at least defending a fortified position would be. I think that maybe it could, even if you have map control. But I think that probably upkeep would possibly make it happen. I'll probably do a video on it at some point anyway. But there's a debate about whether the changes that you would make to make the siege work mechanically how you want it to work, whether that would have like a negative effect on the rest of the gameplay that would outweigh just having a siege happening. If you get what I mean. It looks like those two are still in the game. Yeah, they're still in the game. I'm not sure if I'm playing today, actually. I might be playing. Let me have a look at my Discord. Yeah, at about 9 o'clock, according to Stoner, who I don't know where he's from in the world, but there's some guy called Stoner in my group who said 9 p.m. And I don't know if that's 9 p.m. for me or 9 p.m. for Germany, or I don't know where he's from. Maybe California with a name like that. I don't know. But he said 9 p.m. and I said okay. So yeah, oof. 9 o'clock of EU. What, is this for Stoner? So 8 p.m. for me. Okay, that's good then. Why don't we just have a little look while we're waiting? Let's just have a little look at something. What should we look at? Let's have a look at... Does anybody want to see anything? Or should I just stop the stream? Or does anybody actually want to see anything in particular? I wanted to do a 4.5 stream to show everyone what was new. But I just fucked it up again and I just didn't have it installed. And then I just ended up doing a bit of beta. Is it over? I don't know. I don't know if it's over or if it's not. So, oof. Who did win? I don't know. I don't know who won and who lost, so, oof. No, we got kicked out of the game. But apparently they're still playing, so... if I had to put money on it, I would say Elendil was winning. Yeah, delayed 4.5 stream coming out now. Why don't you give your opinion on Lothlorien powers or Rohan powers? Let's have a look at Lothlorien powers then. And I'll talk about them because... and the spellbook in general, I actually really like the new spellbook. I think it's good. I know some people complained about it, mostly on ModDB, which everybody complains on ModDB, so that's not a massive surprise. But I actually really like it. I like the idea of having like these two separate lines. I know they say that one's supposed to be defensive and one's supposed to be offensive. I don't really agree on it. But yeah, I also like the fact that there's a middle spell and that you can save up and go for the middle spell and get that instead. To be honest with you, I haven't really looked at the spells that much, so I don't really know what they do. Creates a heart tree, forest that hides allies within. After a while, it also uses ambush things. I know this tree guy that slaps everyone. Permanently reveals the entire map. And reduction of... I was going to say that wasn't very good, but to reduce this spells by 25%, that's pretty good. I bet I'm going to lose against the AI, to be honest. I really hate the Lorien spellbook. Why? What do you hate about it? Hate is a strong word. What could you hate about it? Let's have a look here. Mystical Stream. I don't mind Mystical Stream. I think Mystical Stream works well with the Arrow Storm. So if you're fighting someone and you've outnumbered them, I'll just show it on this Wildman pit here. If you're fighting someone with a massive army over here, they're here. You can just kind of like put it behind them, like this, so that they haven't got a path to run away from. Then when you get into the Mystical Stream, you can hit your Archer Clump. And then they have to run through it and get slowed down and then get hit by that arrow volley. So you can use that. Well, it's nowhere near as good as the other to something. Oh, to some Wildman. Nice. Pro plays. Get some archers. Oh, I'm playing against Imladris, and they're killing my farm, the bastards. That's it. I've lost. GG. Because when they wait. If they kill this, does that mean that I can't get my archers out? I'm gonna lose. Great. How many are there left? There's 3 of them left. Oh god, I'm gonna lose. Can I still get them? Yes, I can still get them. Okay, we're all good. And now they're running away. Oh, the bastards. Oh no, they're gonna die. Right, let's just get that back. Let's have a look. Have they... They're still playing. So let's have a look at some of the other powers. Refuge in the Woods, Summons a Blessed Tree. Lady of the Light. I've never bought that yet. Radagast, as usual. Destructive powers. What happens if you get both of these? If Gladriel is always blessed or has become Queen of Tile, a Star of Hope with the same bonus appears. Oh. So you can... Oh, or a tornado appears instead. Oh, that's interesting. I might just start streaming chess. Just YOLO it. Like this here, look. Like, it just makes everything so much slower. Now that I have to wait for this 300, I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then by the time I get it, I need another 300 again to buy another one. 4.1. I don't really know what's best now. Because I don't know if the meta's really like been established, but I always used to go for a barrack start, and I still do most of the time, I think. But I'm not against going for eco starts now, whereas I never used to do that. I only open up with one now to get my units quicker. Yeah, so you could just avoid getting it just to get your first unit out, because if you get that farm and then it gets harassed, it's like it puts you so far behind. Oh my god, it's happened again. These bastards. And they're gonna get it again, aren't they? For fuck's sake. Let me just make this stream. This'll work. They're still in their game. I keep flicking back to see if they're still in the game. I think I'm going to lose to AI again. Ah. As you can see, I'm very well experienced in a game these days. Oh, use the heal. Right, let's go creep the troll. You need to creep to get your racks out. Yeah. Hopefully you'll see in my game later today, if it gets streamed, what my current build order is online. And hopefully I'll play better than I am right now. But with Imladris, I'll often go for an eco building first and then get a barracks. So if you can afford to get one inside eco building and two outside eco buildings, and then wait to get your barracks, and then by the time you got your barracks, you're making enough money to start pumping out those expensive swords then. So that's one option that you could go for. Let's grab another one of these to get cheaper units. This is how you creep, 101. I keep fucking up my creeps in online games and then losing the whole game just because I lost all of my units to a troll. So yeah, I'm thinking about maybe making a siege video. If I was going to make another video again, like a proper video, unlike these shitty streams, I would make it on sieging and my thoughts behind it, because I find it interesting, like just from from a game design point of view of how you could actually do it. And I feel like good evening. Oh, is your game over, or are you a different Luke? It's just... No, this is me playing against the AI. This is just because we got kicked out of the game. I just feel like if we could do it, it would be a big deal. And there's no real like RTS games that have got like proper siege mechanics in them. Like what game? Other than like Stronghold, which I haven't really played and I'm not that interested in playing. Although I might play it just for the video, just to get an idea about how it is done, which is completely map control independent. There's no game that does like sieging properly, like, and if you look at all of the advertisement for, yes, for like Edane 4, where all the advertisement in the early days when that first came out had like proper siege battles going. For BFME 1, it was all like siege mechanics. It had like units standing on the walls, it had like battering rams taking down the gate, it had like siege towers. Evils, it was all revolving around siege mechanics. And I feel like if we could make it work, that would be like a really big, strong selling point. And especially with this new system where we're using forts instead of using the BFME 2 system, even though the BFME 2 system, it was still advertised as like a siegey kind of thing. And that would just be like, that would be making the best use out of these fixed build plots. But it just depends if it's possible to do it in multiplayer, and if it's worth it. If the drawbacks are too big of a deal to warrant doing it. Well, I'll make a video on it anyway, probably one day, maybe, probably not. I think one would be making sieges more active and micro heavy, and less about spamming 20 rams and 20 catapults against OP catapults. Yeah. I think if I do end up making this video or videos, I'll do something like one video on what the problems are with the sieging at the moment, and then another video on like possible suggestions of how it could be better. And yeah, I have got a few ideas of how it could be better. Spartacus, do you know if they've finished or not? So let's have a look. What can we go for? I haven't really used much of this. This used to be super OP in the beta. It would just replenish stuff so much. Where are you supposed to put that? You can only be used close to your base or other blessed trees. So you can kind of like, you can put it next to other blessed trees. So could you just eventually just like get a string of them and put them right outside your enemy's base in theory? Well, they need to make it so there is a reason for the attacker to not just wait. Exactly. That's the main issue. There has to be a reason why the attacker goes to the base and attacks rather than just waiting for his position to become super duper strong. Because at the moment, how sieges work is you just wait until you're strong enough, and then you siege. And whilst you're waiting, the defender knows that you're getting into a better position by just sitting out there and just waiting. So because he knows that you're getting in a better position from just waiting around and doing nothing, that means that the defender knows that the only way that he's going to be able to win the game is by opening up his gate, walking out the gate, and then trying to attack you. And that's not what a siege is. A siege isn't like, oh, there's the whole of Mordor is outside Minas Tirith. So Gondor's like, oh my god, if we don't do something soon, we're going to lose. So let's just open the gate, let's everybody inside go out, and let's go and try and attack their catapults so that they can't siege us. It's just not a siege, is it? Or like Helm's Deep, seeing all those Uruk-hai and just being like, let me just open the gate and we'll just walk out there. But that's what happens in multiplayer, because that's how the mechanics work. Yeah, that's what always happens, because that's how the mechanics work of it. The attacker to go in and attack, even if he's not sure if he's going to win from the attack, because it also needs to be competitive. It needs to be like there's a genuine chance that a defender, because for the defender to stay, there needs to be a genuine chance of him actually winning the whole game from that position. And then it comes into the thing of like, well, is it even worth it to do that? Because what detrimental effect would that have on the rest of the game? If you allowed someone to be in the position of being trapped in their base and still have a chance to win, would that be too much of a detrimental effect? That's the problem of having like map control and sieges in the same game. Like attackers would just wait for the defender to run out of food. Yeah, exactly. So if it was a siege, because that's the other problem of like the language that's used for it. If it's a siege is actually just like you say, waiting for them to starve, or building up barricades around, and then the defender would send out like sorties to go and attack them and try and break the siege. But I think when we talk about siege, what we're really talking about is like an actual like assault on a fortified position, which would have happened, and that would have been part of a siege. So at a certain point in the siege, the army would have, for whatever reason, maybe, I don't know, they were running out of food themselves or something, and they needed to attack straight away, or they needed to weaken their position. They would launch an attack on the base, which is why you had like siege towers and you had catapults in the first place and you had rams to knock down a gate. Because if you're just going to wait for them to starve, what's the point in having a ram? What's the point in having a catapult? Because that's not going to make them starve any quicker unless you like blow up their food supply or something, which obviously is not realistic. So I think when we talk about sieges, what we're actually talking about is attacking a fortified position, and that's what happened in like the movies. They didn't just, Mordor didn't just be like, we're just going to wait here now for them all to starve. No, they went in and they tried to kill the base, and they tried to kill everyone who was inside the city. So it's more like how are we going to make that a legitimate mechanic if we want to, or whether it's worth doing it, etc. Yeah, right now in multiplayer with inflation, after winning map control, I need 20 minutes to get all the upgrades, outputs, and heroes just to be safe. There needs to be a reason for attacking earlier. Yeah, that's the thing. But then, then the next question is, what are you going to do? Because you can't just start giving free stuff to the defender. You can't just start giving free stuff to people for losing. Although, having said that, there are plenty of games that do give free stuff to the losing player for that very reason. Think about Mario Kart and think about the what is it, that bullet. If you're in last place, you get a super strong pickup, whereas if you're in first place, you never ever get that pickup, and it's specifically for comebacks. But then there's an argument to be made that, well, Mario Kart is for like a party game where you might have someone there who's amazing at Mario Kart, but then there's someone else like a little kid that you're playing with, or someone at the party who like has never played the game before, but they still want to feel like they're enjoying themselves. Then you give them that opportunity. Exactly, Mario Kart isn't exactly the most balanced, because their whole market is to be like a party game where any skill level can enjoy themselves. So if you're amazing, yes, you will win, but you've got the chance of falling behind and then having to regain the dominant position and then falling behind again because of all those pickup things. I shouldn't have put my Emp route there because it's going to get destroyed. Yeah, it's because it's like a family game or a party game. But yeah, there are comeback. That's different to a comeback mechanic that just gives you the opportunity of being able to come back, rather than giving you kind of like an artificial boost. So sitting around for too long risks. Like here now, even now, okay, I'm playing against AI, but at this point, this is where the siege begins. At this point, if I was playing against someone who knew what they were doing, I might be tempted, especially if I'm in a tournament game, I might be tempted to be like, yeah, I mean, I could attack if I wanted to, but like, to be honest with you, I could just get another outpost and another outpost here, and like maybe upgrade my CP a little bit more, just to be on the safe side. And the game rewards me for doing that. There's no reason for me not to do that, other than I'm time wasting and I don't want to look like a douchebag. But in terms of how likely am I to win, I'm more likely to win if I just sit here and just wait. And eventually he's going to come out. If it was a real player, he'll be building up his army inside, and then he'll be coming out. Then I could just destroy him with my army, and then my position's even better again. Maybe if internal farms had some sort of upgrade to defend themselves. I've got quite a lot of ideas, and I've talked to people about it quite a lot as well, and I've heard some other ideas that I'd be interested to share in that video if it ever does get made, about how you could make it better. But for me, the main issue, the main thing that stops sieges from working is that issue of you can just wait, and there's no incentive to attack the base, and there's no incentive for the defender to defend the base. That's the issue. Before you solve that, there's other things that you could change to make it like less spammy of catapults, less spammy of rams and things like that, but there's no point in doing that unless you solve the main problem, which is that there's no reason for me to attack. There's no incentive for me to do it at the moment. To be honest, I think part of the issue at the moment is that siege weapons are too much investment CP wise and eco wise. I agree with that. I think if catapults costed 0 CP, I agree with that, but could be capped to a certain amount, might be a good change. I agree with that. That's one of the suggestions that I was going to make, and that I actually have made before in the beta forum on Modern Union. It doesn't sound good to a lot of people to do that, but I do actually think like that would work. But again, it doesn't matter if it's 0 CP. If you've got no incentive to attack, then it's probably going to make the situation worse to have it 0 CP. Because the other thing is, if you're playing against a really good player who is actively trying to like fight for the map control, you end up just investing loads of money on stuff that can help you keep the map, and then because you've invested so much money in that and so much command points in that, eventually you get to the point where you get to the point where you've got no CP left for the siege, and then it's like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Because I've got no CP even for this siege. So I think that. I agree that, like, by the end, if we were in an ideal situation and there was actually an incentive to attack, blah, 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 and it was worth it, and it didn't have too much of an impact on the rest of the game, blah, 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 etc., 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 and it was working fine, I do think that the best idea would be to have a limited number of catapults that you can get. Let's say, like, 3 catapults, and they were strong, and they were reasonably tanky, okay? And the same for rams. They were stronger than they are. So it didn't come into like let me see who can kill the most catapults or who can kill the most battering rams to stop me from coming in. I think they should be strong. They should have quite a lot of health. They should have maybe not that much damage to the gates, but that they should have a decent amount of health. So it didn't just come into let me just summon some units over a catapult or over a ram to kill it to stop you from sieging, and then I have to spam like 20 to make it work. So you had quite strong siege, but it was limited to the amount that you could have, and I agree that it should cost no CP, but it should cost money in my opinion. And then once you had that, I personally think, this might be controversial, but I personally think that siege should only be able to attack the wall. Okay, so catapults should only be able to attack walls, to destroy walls. So catapults should just be there. Their sole reason to exist should just be to destroy the walls of a base, and you shouldn't have any other reason to buy them. And their battering rams should only be designed to destroy gates. And if you think about it, in terms of like medieval warfare, you wouldn't have someone bringing in 30 rams and then pushing it into a building to destroy it. It doesn't make sense. That battering rams off to destroy the gates. So basically what that would mean is if you were in that situation, and as long as there was an incentive to attack the base in the first place, what you would have is you would destroy the walls, you would destroy the gates, then you would move in with your actual army, and then you would fight within the base against the enemy's army. Because that's what the siege should be. It should be, let me use my siege equipment to destroy the fortifications, to destroy the walls and the base. Now that it's destroyed, now I can move in with my army to take the city, just like you see in Minas Tirith and in Helm's Deep, where the army moves in, and it's the army that does it. The army is the one that takes the city, or they take the forts. It's not that Mordor just sits there with 2,000 catapults and just completely bombards the city until it's a pile of rubble. Because most of the time you want the city for yourself anyway. So why would you destroy the whole thing? Oh my god, I'm getting absolutely wrecked. Oh my god, all my stuff's died. That's the other thing, like, you go into the building and then you lose your whole army. So it's safer to just sit here with my units and destroy everything from a distance. But yeah, to me that's how the siege should work, and I feel like that the citadel should be the main focus of the siege, and that basically if you end up killing the citadel, you win the siege, and if you don't kill the citadel, then you don't win the siege. So that the siege becomes like the defender defending the citadel, and the attacker attacking the citadel. But basically, I'll be talking about that in the video if I ever do make it. Luke lost, by the way. Outplayed. Nice. So what happened? How did it end? So let's have a look. I'm just looking at the chat now because I just started talking for ages then. So I think if catapults costed 0 CP, oh, we've read that. What's your idea to change that main problem? So that was my idea. I was saying the other day, maybe siege weapons come from a different pool of resources than fighter units. That way he's not risking map control. But if it's a different pool of resources, it ends up kind of acting as if it was free anyway. I think I would have to have a think about that. Maybe that's not true, but it kind of feel, because you know, like with the different pool of resources with Gondor and their beacons, it kind of just feels like they're free anyway, because they're the only ones who have that resource. So it's not like everyone has that resource. They're the only ones who have that resource. So it just kind of feels like, well, it's still free units. It's just free units on a timer. So I do think it should cost money, because you should have an investment to do it. I just don't think it should maybe cost CP. It's not, to be honest, that's not the biggest deal. I don't mind if they do cost CP anyway. The biggest deal is providing an incentive to actually attack in the first place. I hate how rams can hit walls. Yeah, then rams are not for hitting walls. Catapults should be for hitting walls. And I feel like these base catapults, yeah, I like these, but look, this is the main problem. This is the main problem. Why buy a war catapult? So give me one good reason to buy a war catapult. Seriously. At this point in Edain, why would anybody in their right minds buy a war catapult? What does it achieve? I'm just gonna sit here and wait for the responses. Why buy a war catapult? You just capture structures in real life. You don't tear them down gradually. Exactly. You just. But obviously, there's got to be a way to show that. I don't mind buildings being destroyed in Edain, but I do think that, and obviously like this with an Ent, I feel like that should be the type of exception that should be able to attack buildings like this. You see it in the films. It's absolutely no issue, and they've got their own drawback to that because they're so weak to fire. But yeah, you capture a building with units, don't you? Like, even if you want to destroy the city, like, I went to Dubrovnik in Croatia, and there was a horrible war there, where they did siege Dubrovnik, this historical city, and loads of the city got destroyed, and it was from a lot of bombardment. But the reason why they bombarded was because they had a fortified position, and they wanted to get rid of that fortified position of the people within Dubrovnik who were defending it. But even then, they did just demolish the whole city. Like, it's ridiculous. You don't just sit there with a catapult or at that time, like, you know, actual artillery, and just sit there until you destroy the whole city with that artillery. You go in there and you capture it and you keep it for yourself for economic reasons or whatever. So yeah, I feel like the only thing that should be able to go in to the main and destroy the buildings should be units. And you can imagine it like they're not really destroying it, they're just capturing it for themselves. I'm not particularly bothered about whether, you know, it gets destroyed or it stays there to make it look like it's been captured. That's not really an important point mechanically. So I don't mind it. I don't mind them being destroyed to show that, you know, what's left and what's not left. But I do think that only units should be able to attack buildings. It's probably quite controversial, but I feel like that would make sieging work a bit better. I don't like limiting siege, but the thing is, it would work completely differently. It wouldn't be like how it is now, where there's like 20 rams before you can get into a base because your enemy keeps targeting only the rams. But it was massive. There was a ram design in real life for breaking walls. Yeah, but that's what I think it should be like. I think these limited rams that you have, like let's say you get 3 or 4 rams, yeah, they should be fucking massive. And the catapults that you get should be fucking massive. Because you're only going to have 3 of them. And in reality, they were huge. They weren't like, you know, however big they are, like 3 times the size of a human, like they are in a Dane. Or in BFME in general. They should be like fucking huge. And and I feel like they should have a time to set themselves up, plant themselves down, then go into their siege mode, then attack, have, you know, like, make it look epic, have really slow animations for them so that they're coming in and they're crashing into the walls. Just stuff like that makes it feel a bit more epic as well. But yeah, I think they should be fucking massive. They are pretty bad. Lol. I don't know what's pretty bad. Oh, war catapults this is. I think if catapults could only attack buildings, it would punish the siege player even more. I mean, only attack walls, I'm saying. They should only attack walls. And rams should only be able to attack gates. It's not law accurate, but I think it's better. But it leads to a situation where a person can just get their catapults out, sit outside the base, and just blop, 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 bombard it. It's a bit like having, you know, if you fight a kid, which I don't recommend you doing, but if you fight a kid and you just stretch your arm out and you hold his head and then you just start kicking him while he's trying to punch you, but you can't reach, and you just hold him by the head and just kick him, and then you just win because you've got the reach advantage. That's what it's like. People can just sit outside the base with like 5 catapults upgraded and just bombard. No one does it because at that point in the game you've won so easily that you may as well just go and walk in. But there's no reason why you can't just walk yourself around the whole base, destroy every inside building, then destroy the citadel, and then win. And that did used to happen before. It did used to happen. You can have a look at some of Elite Cryptics videos where that did happen, where it was like 30 catapults that were just bombarding the entire base. Like there wasn't really a point in doing that at that point, but it's still viable. And I've seen it before in this tournament where people just get catapults, they sit outside, they start bombarding, and then that forces the defender again to leave his base. Give OP siege towers, please. This all leads to Wells losing in combat regain. If siege units are free but take time to get, you can start sieging earlier. If they cost real money, that's money that you would rather spend on defending map control. But I feel like there is an end point where it's like, okay, I've got map control now. I've got map control. I've got 1,500 CP worth of stuff. I can upgrade it if I want, but I've got the map control. Now the siege battle begins. So I feel like there should be a clear cut-off point between this is the battle for map control. Now I've won that. Now let's see who's going to win the siege battle, and it should be like a clear distinction between the two. And it usually is. But the problem is that once the map control battle is over, then the game is over at the moment. There's no need for a siege, and people just GG. They just give up before it because you're just wasting time if you do it. If you buy siege and your opponent buys units, he wins if you can't use siege in battle. Yeah, but I don't really know about whether or not, like in terms of resources. My gut feeling is that they should cost resources, but I haven't really thought about it much. If you buy siege and your opponent buys, yeah, he's unable to win. Exactly what Sloco said. I really like how Grond works, honestly. It's kind of makes siege a thing. Yeah, so he comes in, destroys the base, and then forces it in. Because that's like... But then even with Grond, like, people use him because it's like, right, I've got him, so I can use him now. But if you're already winning, there's no reason why you can't just have Grond and just kind of keep him there and then get like 5 more catapults and still do the same thing. There's no point in doing it, but... The only time where Grond makes a siege happen is when you get Grond, even though you're losing the game, and you think, right, if I can use Grond to attack, because I'm losing the game, then there is an incentive for you to go in and siege, because it's like, I'm losing the game. The more time that I spend not sieging is making me lose more. So I need to go in there now and attack the base. And so that in that situation, yeah, it can work as a siege because the incentive is there to make you go in and attack. That's what they need to be free, or everyone will get to outposts, all heroes and all upgrades before they ever attack. Yeah. Unless there's an incentive for the attacker to attack and the defender to defend. That is the number one issue. Nothing else in terms of sieging will work until there is an incentive for the attacker to attack as early as possible and for the defender to wait and kill time and try and save for time and try and defend. And by him defending, he's giving himself real opportunities to win not just the siege but the entire game. That's the only way that sieging would actually work. And then there could be little tweaks around it, like no CP for catapults, etc., etc., that would make it probably work better, or catapults only attacking walls, in my opinion, would make it better. Rams only attacking gates, etc. But without that incentive, it does not work. In my opinion, at least. That's why they need to be free. This is a bit crazy, but you can have the catapults only able to fight by ability with a cooldown. I feel like they should have an ability where it makes them stop and then attack, so that they have like a bit of vulnerability to other war catapults or to other units. Let's see, but you can, I think it would really help. You can just make your opponent use it, fall back, wait, fight again. Yep. There is a 20-minute time frame right now between winning map control and starting siege. Exactly. That's the problem. The siege gets won, and then everybody just waits around, and it's boring. It's boring to play. It's boring to watch. The defender is going to lose anyway, so they might as well GG, because by waiting, they're only losing more. It should be the complete opposite. If you want, I mean, I'm not saying it should be the complete opposite in RTS in general. I'm saying if you want sieges to work, then it has to be the opposite. It has to be the opposite, that the defender waiting makes his position better and the attacker waiting makes his position worse. I'm not saying that it should be that they get so much free stuff that the defender just wins anyway, because then you'd lead to unstoppable games. And that's the downside to any changes that you would make like that. So it's like a fine balancing act. But if you want sieges to work, whether you do or not, it's a separate discussion. But if you want sieges to work, it has to be that waiting for the defender is a good thing. Waiting for the attacker is a bad thing. The attacker has to attack. The defender has to defend for it to be a siege. And the only way the defender is going to defend and try and kill time is if his position keeps getting better over time. There is so in a serious game, I don't start sieging before I have all eco upgrades units. That's the best way to do it. That's how the game rewards you at the moment for doing it. Well, isn't that bad? But yes, I got the idea. Yes, free siege is not an incentive to attack, rather it's getting rid of the disincentive to attack because it doesn't stop units from being produced. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably make a video about it at some point if I ever get around to it. If I get time to do it. Probably when I'm on my holidays, I'll do it. Or like if I got a free weekend or something, because it's interesting. I just find it interesting. As you probably know from if you are on Discord or anything like that, I'm always talking about it. Well, but on the bright side, we've stopped the attack of Imardris. Right, I've got a game in. Oh, Stoner says he can't play today because his internet is down. Okay, I don't have a game anymore. Are you still live? Elendil? Yes, I'm still live. I'm just going to quit this now because I'm sure no one wants to see me play against the AI anymore. I might stream another game of a tournament if there is another one. That would be good. If not, then I won't. So, but how do you make a defender's position get better without rewarding poor gameplay? This is a really big and difficult question, and that's the problem. Well, I have suggested before upkeep. And upkeep being the main way in which that would be possible without breaking the game. And upkeep basically being the more units you have, the less income you have. I'll explain it all in the video when I finally make it, but that does not reward the defender, but it does make his position better over time. So it doesn't reward the defender, but it does make his position better over time compared to the attacker. And even under upkeep, the attacker will always be in the better position. It's just that the defender catches up to him, whereas without upkeep, both players are kind of like, both players' positions are getting better. It's just that the person who's winning's position gets better faster, if that makes sense. Whereas under upkeep, both players' positions are getting better. When the defender is very, very far behind, his acceleration in how much better his positioning is being is a lot quicker, but it never overtakes the attacker. It's a bit hard to explain, but I'll be able to explain it in the video. But it's in Company of Heroes. It works absolutely fine in Company of Heroes. It's not that if you win in Company of Heroes, you start to lose. It doesn't work like that. So upkeep is actually a fine thing to use, and I think that would provide the incentive to attack and defend. But the other side is like, how on earth are you going to be able to get upkeep in Edain? I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if the Edain team wants to do it. I don't know how much work it would take, etc., etc. So that's what you could do, and if you don't do that, I don't really see the other options, to be honest. I don't know how else you would be able to do it, and if we don't want to do it, it's fine. That's a decision that we can make, and we can just be like, right, the only time that we have sieges is just when we do horde maps, which is fine. But should it even be possible to come back after losing the map? Yep, that's another question. If you don't think that, then, well, no sieges for you, basically. I think that's correct anyway. I'm not sure, 100% sure if that's correct, but basically. Or would it be better just to balance the fight for the map and accept the fact that sieges aren't a competitive thing? Yep, exactly. You could just accept that they are not a competitive thing, and the only competitive thing is map control. You would have to link it to CP cap in BFME instead of UCP. Yes. Oh yes, please do a video about that. About what? Sorry. Just about sieging in general, do you mean, Solokos? Let's brainstorm this with you, good fella. It's an interesting topic to ponder. It is very interesting. I also think it hasn't really been tackled before in RTS games. This thing of sieging, and I saw someone post on like Reddit or somewhere about he basically was like, I'm looking for a game. It was years and years ago, so, but he was like, I'm looking for a game that has got like siege mechanics in it, and I don't know where it is. And a couple people were like, why don't you try BFME? That's got siege mechanics in it. And I was there like, well, not in multiplayer, it doesn't. This is the other game that I'm playing at the moment. Right, guys. So, I'm probably going to go eat now. So, I might be back on for a tournament game. I will hopefully, I'll hopefully make a video about this, and we can discuss it, obviously, in the comments of the video. We can maybe make a post about it on Modern Union. There's just a lot. There's like a fundamental issue of map control versus sieges, and there's the also fundamental issue of like, are the fixes that could possibly work, are they worth it? Is it even possible to do it? Is it worth the amount of work that it would probably take? Is it worth the amount of balancing that you'd have to rebalance after having such a massive gameplay shift like that? So there's lots of stuff to think about it. But I'll probably make a video because it's interesting anyway. Right then, guys. So I'm just going to go grab some food, and I will see you later, hopefully. If you're not already subscribed, please do. Not that you're going to be getting much content, but why not? I need the ad revenue. I think upkeep and inflation together would be too much. That's the other problem, is that if you go too far the other way, you get never-ending games, and it's just not good for anything. Okay, see you guys. I will hopefully be back on later to stream another game if there is another game that is wanting to be streamed. Bye, guys.